Hi, I'm Money Coach Chris, and this is Money Clarity Conversations. I help people develop emotional intelligence around money using their financial attachment styles. Because most money problems aren't actually about numbers, they're about patterns. So if you ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're doing everything right and it's still not working, you're in the right place. We're going to talk about how your past, your relationships, and your patterns with money are shaping the way you handle it so you can start working with yourself instead of against yourself. Welcome back to Money Clarity Conversations. And today I'm joined by Dani Borow, and I'm so excited for this conversation. So, Dani is the host of The American Dream, a realtor, a wealth builder, a mindset disruptor. And Dani doesn't just help people buy real estate, she helps them build generational wealth and become the person that they were always meant to be. She knows that the biggest thing standing between them and financial freedom isn't opportunity, it's the story they've been told about themselves. And she's here to rewrite it. And honestly, I think this is such an important conversation because whether we're talking about money, business, relationships, or real estate, so much of what holds us back isn't a lack of knowledge, it's the story we carry about ourselves. So, Dani, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love it. I love it. So, for those who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how did you get into the work that you do and really focus on a growth mindset for yourself?
Yes. So I have been a real estate agent here in the US for 8 years. I come from a family of realtors and I started working in real estate really young as a teenager. I did that for 10 years in Brazil and I went and got three different college degrees only to sell houses in the end. Oh, I think it was just meant to be and I'm glad that it came full circle and I absolutely love what I do.
I love that. And I think one thing I know about you that others might not know is you also were a pastry chef at one point, right?
Yes. So most of my adult life I was a pastry chef. I ended up moving to Florida because of a job opportunity that I had with Marriott. And I worked at the largest Marriott hotel in the world in Orlando. It was such a fun job. But over the years, that became a little exhausting. It takes a toll on you and your body. And after you have a baby, it just, you're always gone and you never have time for your child. So it was a real good transition for me.
I love that. And you said real estate runs in your family. It's in your bloodline, right?
It is, yes. I tried to get away from it as much as I could, but no, it's what we do.
Right. So I want to know, was there a moment in your own life when you realized how powerful your beliefs can be?
All the time, all the time. I think that everything is created on an ideological level first, and then it comes into existence. But I feel like every day set yourself up for whatever your mindset is at. So some days when you're like, oh, I don't know, it's gonna be so difficult, it ends up being, right? And sometimes when you're more open minded and relaxed and you just like, let's just go with the flow and things work out. So, yes, definitely mindset is everything.
Yes, I fully believe that myself. And so you have been working with me for a little while now,
Yes.
and you have read all or most of my book, Rewired for Wealth. Do you remember what your financial attachment style is?
Yes, I'm a gift giver. It means a lot to me to show love and appreciation for people. I feel like I live in a constant state of gratitude, and it is something that I learned to do because it serves me. But yeah, it's just showing gratitude and appreciation for the people in my life. So little gifts are a lot of fun for me.
Now, understanding that's how you're attached to money, has there been any point where you stop and realize, oh, I'm doing this because that's how I'm wired or that's how I'm attached to money? And has there been something that shifted with that understanding?
Absolutely, absolutely, because I never realized that the gift giving was also how I would expect to receive love back from people, attention and appreciation back. And those are things that only I can give myself if I'm being, in the core. We have to hold ourselves. We're responsible for our own happiness. My okayness does not depend on other people, other factors, and everything. So there were times that I realized this gift is not really coming from a place of gratitude and appreciation, but from a place of lack and wanting that back in my life. And that's when I'm like, no, there's no need to do that. So I caught myself. I had the awareness to be like, no, I don't need to buy this gift because it's the wrong reason to give a gift. So it's been very helpful.
Yes. And I know as an experienced creator, understanding that part about me is what kind of helps me to understand why I feel the need to consistently give experiences, not only for myself, but for other people. So, when we talk about all the work that we're doing together, understanding our financial attachment styles, understanding our limiting beliefs, I find it interesting how both of those things, the understanding and awareness of how we're wired as humans, and understanding and awareness that we're the ones stopping ourselves with that limiting beliefs. What's interesting to me is how these beliefs show up around money, around business all the time, and especially in industries like real estate, where income isn't predictable. So, real estate professionals live inside money's emotional field every single day. Commission swings, slow markets, anxiety, big closings. Money is emotional. So, I'd love to hear your perspective on how uncertainty can amplify fear, comparison, and the stories that we tell ourselves about that.
Yes, definitely real estate can be a bit of a difficult industry because of those ups and downs. There is a lot that we cannot control, namely the economy. It can be frightening at times. It can cause anxiety even at times when you don't really know where it's going to come from. And I think that the work that we're doing together is eliminating that inconsistency and creating a plan for the ups and downs. And by, let's say, working with a monthly budget or a salary or whatever we want to call it, it creates freedom because you know that you're taking care of what you need to take care of first. So having a plan it eliminates that inconsistency, it eliminates that fear, that anxiety of where it's going to come from, and just learning to understand why the emotional spending happens. So I just recently made a purchase, and I'm still not quite there yet, but I still just made a purchase recently, and I was like, why did I buy it? And you have to look inside. It's like what part of me needed to soothe with that purchase. So having that awareness is so important because even though this time I did not catch myself, but there have been so many other times when I did. And I was like, well, what's happening here? So, do I really need that purse? Or do I just need a day off? Do I just need to put my feet up? So, yes, it's the awareness is really where it's at. It's invaluable.
And I want to point out the humanness of this because, like you said, you're still working on it because we're humans and we're not perfect all the time. And even though we're continuously working on our mindsets, on understanding and being aware of how we are attached to money, how we're wired, but more specifically, like how we're soothing our nervous system, right? It just takes time and it takes practice and it's also not it's about not beating yourself up if you make a bad choice, right? And maybe later things come about. So I wonder, in real estate you have some great months and some bad months. Do you find that your mindset is completely different when you're doing well versus when you're having slower months?
Definitely. I feel like the momentum when you're doing well, it just keeps going and going. And life wise, when it's not good, it just feels like you're going in a bad direction. So having the ability to recognize what's happening and being able to shift your mindset is so important. Every day on a constant basis, I'm always pivoting because I feel as human beings living this human experience, we often have a tendency to run away from fear, right? Instead of running towards what we really want. So sometimes we're just avoiding things. Sometimes we are just trying to protect ourselves. So that's very important to recognize the mental state that you're in, the vibrational frequency, if you want to be woo woo like me. But yes, and in the word that we created for recognizing our frequency is feelings. So, how am I feeling? Oh, I feel that, I feel sad, and this. So, that's the vibrational frequency that we're in, and being able to shift. And for me, one little sentence that I learned to say all the time that helps me shift is just asking myself, is this the ultimate truth? Is this the ultimate truth? And oftentimes it is not. Oh, I'm inconsistent and I'm lazy and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Is this the ultimate truth? Maybe what's going on here? So yes, I feel like keeping our emotions in check constantly and just being able to pivot into the desired emotional state is so important.
And how do you find, because you're human, when you get into a place of maybe scarcity or fear, or you're trying to soothe your nervous system, what ways do you pull yourself out, or how do you pivot, as you say?
Yes, so I kind of coach myself in my own head a lot of times because sometimes that's all you have. But I feel like journaling is really one of the most powerful ways to move energy for me. Just I'm feeling like this. So why is that? So you dig deeper and deeper. And as you write, you're able to take a step back and be like, whoa, I didn't realize that this was even here. So for me, one of my favorite ways to pivot is through journaling. But of course, you can do it in your own mind. I just feel like it's more powerful, it's more sticky if you journal.
Yeah. And we've been doing a lot of work on creating consistently disciplined habits for yourself and being consistently in action. Do you find that is helpful to you to be able to say, hey, I can be consistent, I can do hard things, I can treat my real estate business like this is my 9 to 5, if you will?
Consistency is definitely key. And I feel like that's still an area that I struggle with. I feel like I value freedom so much and I love the flexibility that real estate gives me. But too much flexibility is not necessarily freedom because you're always bound to going back and I forgot to do this, so I didn't do that, and you're not respecting your time blocks. So that is another thing that I have been working on is consistency. I feel like now with all the things that are available, even with AI, that are able to create a plan for you and give you the trajectory where you want to go. And it just gives you that clarity that sometimes you need. But I would say that being able to have a system, which is what you have offered me, definitely helps with creating consistency and from there, newer habits.
Perfect. So, if you were to give one piece of advice to a new realtor starting out, what would you give them? What would you say to them?
I would say build your nest egg. First, we like to call it our overflow account, right? But you want to build first because real estate can be so seductive at times when you have those crazy months and you're like, oh my God, I made in a month what I never made in a year before. It happens sometimes, those really outstanding months. And we kind of steer away from the plan. We comfort ourselves a little bit too much. And I feel like that is from a financial standpoint. A lot of people quit real estate because they cannot sustain that first year because people are used to living paycheck to paycheck. And real estate is not paycheck to paycheck. The work that you do today, you might not see that coming to fruition for another 3 months to 6 months sometimes. People are not ready to sell. People haven't found a house yet. So it's not, I'm going to work today and in 2 weeks I'm getting paid. So having a plan for your spending, for your saving, for your giving is extremely important when you started out in real estate.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Having that financial foundation, and you can start early on and creating that system, creating the rules and boundaries with your money so that you can become a better realtor and help other people create generational wealth. What I want people that are listening to hear is you're not broken, you're not bad at real estate or money. You just maybe never had the right roadmap. So, whether it's money, mindset, or business, the answer usually isn't becoming someone else or I'm not good enough. It's understanding yourself well enough to build a life and business that actually supports who you are already. And financial clarity starts with emotional clarity. And maybe the question we'll leave everyone with today is, what would you change in your business or in your personal life if you actually believed you weren't behind? Thank you so much for joining us today.
What a great question, Chris. I really love this, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you. If this resonated with you, this is the exact work I do at Money Clarity & Co., helping people develop emotional intelligence around money and understand their financial attachment styles. And once you see your patterns, things start to make a lot more sense. If you want to figure out your financial attachment style, grab the link in the description and I'll send it your way.